Right now, we have a boxing connoisseur, Miles Bailey, on the phone. Miles Bailey, welcome to the DJ Cisco Radio Show.
How are you guys doing today?
Hanging in there, man. People couldn't wait for you to get on the line, man. Thank you once again. So, we're going to kick things off with tell the world who you are.
My name is Miles Bailey. I'm a boxing manager, but what I've done, I've boxed in my life. Actually, my cousin Anthony, Tony Scott, has the Pocono Defense School down there in karate, so he's right there in the Poconos. And anybody want to know the arts of doing karate, please, everybody, go check him out. He's been doing it for over 40 years, and with my Uncle Warren and my aunts and things down there, but Anthony Scott. But what I do, okay. I've been into boxing for 35 years. I fought in the Golden Gloves. I came along with Riddick Bowe, Mike Tyson,
nice.
Evander Holyfield, Mark Breland, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, Mike McCallum, so on and so on, Eddie Gregg, John Meekins. We can go on and on with names, but I want to try to speed up to these years because this was in the 80s and the early 90s. And my really good friend Farad Pinchback, who went to prison for 10 years, but what really messed his career up because he would have been a world champion because the guy, when Bernard Hopkins lost his first fight, Farad knocked the guy Clinton Mitchell out, and to this day Bernard is still fighting. He's 52 years old, and that's what would have happened with Farad. Farad would have been, and I was actually his sparring partner, and he was Mike McCallum's sparring partner, who was a 3-time world champion. That's just giving a little history of the boxing. So, and the reason why they call me the boxing aficionado is because I've always make these predictions. If you go on and Google me on YouTube, you see how. When I talk about how guys are going to lose and who's going to win, and my buddy from Hustle Boss named Chris Robinson, he gave me the nickname Nostradamus because it's like I'm like 90.5%. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, of course I'll be wrong. Nobody's 100%.
Yeah. But like most of the time, you're on point. Listen, well, the DJ Cisco Radio Show, LLC, man, I coined you a new term. I call you Miles Bailey, the boxing connoisseur, and that's what we're going to be calling.
Hey. So, same bowl, different soup, same thing.
Yes. Now, I've seen you in pictures with Evander Holyfield, like lots of pictures with him. What's your relationship?
He's my business partner. We're going to be doing some things because what's going to be happening is he was going over to Cuba to do some things to try to unite boxing back the way it used to be.
Yes.
And being I'm over here and I'm working with some trainers like Mike McCallum, who's not fighting anymore, who's a 3-time world champion. My man Tim Griffin, who changed his name to a Macedas, got at Fort Roy Jones. His brother fought Roy Jones and actually beat him, Montel Griffith.
Oh wow!
So I can go on. And Rodney Chrysler. I got a whole bunch of guys. My man Rodney Garcia, Ralphie Garcia from the Mayweather Gym. I'm working with a lot of guys to try to put some things together. My man Dontay Ortiz, who started 50 years ago, and he's a good cut man. So I've been in this thing, head to tails and on. We can go on and on. But I know some questions you want to ask, and I want to answer them and get them corrected for you so you'll see.
Got you, brother. Now, you just said something that just struck me. You said he's a great cut man. So you need every component, you need every aspect of this sport to create and to maintain a great fighter, right?
Correct, because what you really need is a great trainer. That's the first thing, because the trainer is going to show you where you're at and where your level of competition is. You need a seconds there, like a pad man. That's why you always see several guys in the corner, 3-4 guys. And then you need your cut man, because with the cut man, if you get in trouble, the guy has to stop the cut and keep you going. Hopefully, if your trainer's good enough to keep you out of trouble, you never get cut. But things happen. You get butt. A guy gets a lucky punch in. You get cut over the eye, and it can easily stop the fight. So you need a good cut man.
Beautiful.
Without the cut man, you'd be in a lot of trouble.
Now, everyone dibble-dabbled in like boxing. Even I did back in Jamaica, Queens, back in the day.
Right.
Hollis Avenue.
My man Run DMC is from there. Reverend Run.
Yes, I was at O'Connell Park. They used to have a ring there. What advice would you have for these young fighters coming up now, man?
Well, the first thing you got to do, it all starts off with the basic, with the jab. Because when you first, everybody thinks you got to go in there and learn the jab. The jab is really the essential piece, because even when I fought, I was a little green. I was up against the junior Olympic champion, but I did well. I had a great jab. So if you have a jab, like even Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston, you look at all the great guys that fought, you have to have a jab. So the jab would be the first thing to keep a guy at bay. Then, of course, you have to learn the 1-2s, the left-right. then as you go, you get the trainers. They'll show you all the combinations and the moves. And the biggest thing is you have to do your road work. You have to get up in the morning and run. Try to stay away from the cement because it's bad for your legs. You know, you try to run indoors or somewhere where the poundage doesn't, you know, because when you get older, it'll start taking a cumulative effect on your body.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, oh man, I got so many questions. I love boxing, and I'm just so happy to have you on the show.
Oh yeah, and I will come and call every time you need me. You know, how ever and often, and fill you in the right way.
Beautiful. We're not done.
Okay.
So Okay. So we have some big fights coming up.
Correct. Andre Ward, Kovalev
versus Sergey Kovalev.
Correct.
What are your predictions with that fight?
Well, again, you know, I wanted Ward, you know, good brother and all, but I'm a realist. You know, I hate to, you know, sometimes I dance around because I don't want to put guys down and break their little bubble. Yeah. But if Ward stands anywhere close to Kovalev, he's going to get annihilated. Of course, if he boxes and does what Sugar Ray Leonard did to Hagler, which he really should have lost that fight. Hagler just gave him too much room, and he could have took Sugar Ray out. But if Kovalev puts the pressure on Ward and catches him with that straight right, that dynamite, vaunted right hand, it's going to be lights out because Ward really, he has turned to me into trying to be a slugger because he's not doing his moving, his combinations, and the thing. I mean, he's a great fighter. He hasn't lost since he was 12 years old, so you can't take nothing away from the man. Yeah. But Kovalev hasn't lost either, so I have to lean to where, you know, I can see and I know what's going on. Now, I would like to see Ward win, but I got to go with what I see. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or say, oh, I want my brother to win. He's going to get knocked out. That's what I feel. I mean, he might can survive like Bernard did, you see. Yeah. He took Bernard down the first round, and Bernard didn't win a round. Bernard just, his savviness, his ring generalship carried him to 12 rounds. But Kovalev really could have put the pressure on him because I saw what happened to my man Mike when he fought Roy Jones. Roy Jones had him down, but he said he was a wily veteran. He carried him. You know, sometimes they could do that. But I don't think Kovalev is looking to carry Ward. But, you know, Ward could probably hang around and survive. But I doubt if Ward could beat Kovalev. That's me, and everybody's entitled to an opinion. Got you. Now, Kovalev, I've been studying him. Do you think he's a boxer or a slugger? He's a complete slugger. He just he boxes because nobody, you know, if you notice, he comes straight forward. Look at his record. I think he's 29-0 with 26 knockouts. So, I mean, usually boxers, they don't have more than a 50% ratio knockout. When you see sluggers, like my man Tommy Hearns, I wanted to be just like Tommy when I was good. Tommy, when he fought Sugar Ray, he was 32-0 with 30 knockouts. Or Ernie Shavers at one time. Ernie Shavers was 46-1 with 45 knockouts and 35 in the first round. Got you. So I asked you that because if he's a slugger, and if Ward, do you think Ward is more of a slugger or more of a boxer? He's a boxer. Okay, good. So I think I think Ward has a chance because Ward has a beautiful chance. But what I'm saying to you, over the last few fights, watch closely. Ward has been fighting flat-footed. He hasn't been using his combinations, his skills, and also look how his fights have been spaced. The last 5 years, he may have had 5 fights. That's not good for boxers. You got to fight several times a year. Yeah. You know, now unless you're like Floyd, because Floyd, you know, is a cash machine. He gets $150 million a fight. And this is why, and also Floyd is getting up there. Floyd is almost 40 years old. Yeah. Whereas Ward, I think he's just 30, maybe 31. But you got to take advantage of your youth. You just can't fight once a year, once every other year, and each time he fights, it's not as sharp as his last fight. But continue on. All right, cool. Now, since you're in the business, since you're like in the management, plus you're in the like arenas actually, because you're seeing all these up and coming boxers. Name a up-and-coming boxer that you think is going to be a problem. Well, he's not up-and-coming, but it's a friend of mine named King Kong. His name is Luis Ortiz. He's in heavyweight. Okay. He's from Cuba. He's 26-0 with 23 knockouts, and he's just destroyed everybody in front of him. Nobody wants to fight him. Everybody's ducking him. If you hear the analysts and the people talking about him, nobody wants to fight King Kong. The only thing that's going to hurt King Kong in the next 2 or 3 years is Father Time. The other guy we could talk about is Triple G. Okay. Nobody wants to fight him. He has 22 straight knockouts. Same as Canelo. That's why if you go Google Miles Bailey on YouTube and look at my things, with me and Holyfield talking, it's going to be a train wreck, which we both agreed at because that's why what Canelo's doing, he's waiting or hoping that either Father Time sets in or Canelo, because Canelo's still young. He's just 25, where Triple G is 35. So they're waiting for, this is right where that sliding slope happens to boxers, because we can go back from history, from Jack Johnson to Joe Louis to Muhammad Ali. Any one of them, when they get 35 to 40, they start going downhill. Now, of course, George Foreman and Bernard Hopkins were the exceptions, but George Foreman is a puncher. And when you have a punching ability, it doesn't erode like your speed, because when your speed starts slipping, then you become field level as a fighter. You don't have no edge, like how Roy Jones is the only guy I know that used to fight without throwing a jab. Just start throwing punches, which is unheard of.
Keep his hands down and just light your ass up.
From anywhere, because he was just that fast. But now, Father Time sets in. I don't have to explain to you what's happened. You can see it.
Definitely. Plus, we all found out that Jones didn't have a jaw, like when he used.
But before, when they couldn't hit him, nobody knew that.
Exactly.
And my man Louis DeVal from the Mayweather gym, he's the first one to drop him, because Louis was from our gym. And as I fought out of the Fort Apache too, Louis was a young buck at the time, but Louis was a great light heavyweight who has a lot of guys in the Mayweather gym, like Badu Jack and a couple other good names, but and Ron Gavel.
All right.
But
now I have a personal question, because I'm always for the brothers. That's just something I do, and that's what my radio show is about. So, like, I hope I don't offend you. But you remember, like, back in the days where Black African Americans used to dominate the sport.
Who used to dominate it?
Black African Americans, like the heavyweight divisions.
Of course. Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, Joe Frazier. But then it started changing to.
What do you think happened?
Well, what happened was the hunger went away.
Okay.
After Floyd Mayweather, because he was the last dominant, of course, Roy, but now it's slipping. Yeah. And now it's the Mexican, Spanish, the whites, the Russians.
The Russians are killing it.
Yeah. The hunger of the black man. And I'm not disrespecting them, and they all want to start this cherry picking me. Oh, I don't want to fight him. Because I had a heavyweight that was something like that. He was my man, and our contract actually runs out next month.
Gotcha.
But these guys are always looking to pick easy fights.
Yeah.
You can't do that. See, back in the day, those guys fought whoever you put in front of them. Back in the heavyweight division in '70, it was loaded from George Foreman, Jerry Quarry, Ken Norton, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Jimmy Young, Ron Lyles. We can go on and on and on and on. Larry Holmes.
Yes.
Those was the 70 fighters, but those guys are all gone.
Yeah.
And these guys, and most of them were black. Jerry Quarry was the minority. He was a tough white guy. If somebody can Google him, he knocked out Ernie Shavers in the first round in Madison Square Garden in December of '73.
Wow.
It's right on YouTube.
Wow. All right. Now, so I asked you that question, and you answered it perfectly, man. Thank you so much. Now, I have two more questions, and you can get up on out of here. I know you're a busy man.
But I want to come back every time y'all want me, because everybody tells me when I call in, I captivate the audience, and that's what I'm here to do.
Man, brother, I am listening to you forgetting my questions.
Okay.
Okay, so I asked you about the brothers in boxing, and you broke that down. Now, like, what do you think... UFC, do you think UFC compares to boxing? Do you think they created it because they weren't good at boxing? What's your take on that?
Well, UFC is okay, but I'm never in favor of hitting the guy when he's down and pounding him. Anybody can do it. You can take a 90-year-old man, you get a guy, you jump on him. That's easy to do when you got him down.
Gotcha.
But what UFC is, the problem is that, to me, it's not a fair situation, because when you're boxing, at least when you go down, they stop and they give you 8 seconds to recover.
Yes.
The referee asks you all right, so you get a chance. But I don't like that kind of business. That's why it's really not going to last, because, think about it. I mean, the people like it because you definitely get fighting. I do give that, because now the boxers nowadays, you don't get those kind of scraps.
Yeah.
Like, go Google George Foreman and Ronnie Lyles.
Yeah.
So that was a Rock'em Sock'em Robot. That was great. I was a little guy, 1976. That was great.
Yes. So all right, I got you.
So, but I don't. The UFC, it compares. It's okay, but to me, I mean, it really is not going to last, because people start to see that, what I feel like. Of course, it's good, but I don't personally like it. Some people love it because you get action stuff all the time, but you get 3 minutes or 5 minutes for 3 rounds or 5 rounds, whatever it is. But it really is nothing to jump on a guy's head and to pound him down.
I feel you.
It's nothing more than wrestling to me.
I know. Yeah, it reminds me of reality fighting, like just
you know what I mean,
exactly. Like reality fighting. Yeah, I could definitely feel you in that. But America and people want to see brutality, so that's why they gravitated to it.
Of course, and I don't like it, but some people like it because you do get the action-packed stuff, and sometimes it is good to get around the two of that. But there's no technique in it. Even karate. There's a lot of things that are much better than the UFC, but it's making money because the gaudiness, the blood, and that's what it is. So people are gravitating to it. I don't know how long it'll last, but it's not the big bonanza it once was when it first came out. It's starting to fade off because people are starting to say, hey, and then people get hurt or killed and whatever.
And one boxer, I think it was Ray Mercer. I think he had a fight, like a UFC fight. And he knocked the dude out like the first round, just cold knocked him out because he couldn't even because the guy couldn't box, so he just
there you go, and that's what it is. It's almost more of a wrestling technique because you can grab a guy, put him in a hole. So jiu-jitsu. In wrestling, we know it's pure phoniness. Since I was 10 years old, which my brother's 50-something, he loves it, but that's not me.
Yes. Now, so based on that, what do you think the current state of? I was going to say hip hop. What do you think the current state of boxing like? Do you think it's going to be more of a draw where people are going to be more attracted, or do you think it's on a decline?
No, it's going to be all right because what happens is like every time you get a new superstar to come out, just like when Muhammad Ali revived boxing, Floyd Mayweather Jr., you'll see guys that come along, Oscar De La Hoya, Sugar Ray Leonard. Every few years, from Ray Robinson to Joe Louis to Rocky Marciano, every few years some phenom will come out and put boxing back on the map because boxing's been in since John O'Sullivan in the 1900s. That's over 100 years ago. Jack Johnson, Gene Tunney. We can go on and on and on about the boxing. Every time they say it's dead, here it comes again. Like people don't know the generation of money with that Pacquiao Mayweather fight. Mayweather got $275 million, and Pacquiao got $160 million because he was $80 million in the whole Pacquiao, so he was $80 million in the plus. So. It wasn't the greatest fight. It wasn't Mayweather's fault because he's a defensive fighter, in my opinion. But he did what he had to do to win. I know he would want that fight again because that was easy money, easy work.
Exactly. He makes people mad, but they don't realize the man is so fast that you can't even tell what the hell he's doing. Like unless you're watching live, and he knows how to box. So
great. He's just not a big puncher, and Father Time is setting in. But he's all right. He can. If I was he, and I hope he's listening, I would fight a Paulie Marciani, then maybe a Danny Garcia, then force the winner of Canelo and Triple G to fight because that'll be a mega fight. To get those guys in the ring, plus Mayweather could fight the winner, and then he can go off in his career, and he could easily make $500 million with those 3 fights. Easily.
That's crazy. Now listen, I have one last question.
No problem.
This is it, man. Yo, my man. As we're talking, I'm thinking about stuff. Now, the big heavyweight. Now you mentioned King Kong, and there is one fighter that I love. I think his defense needs to be. It's
either Deontay Wilder or Joshua Anthony. Come on, bro. This is my thing. Anything you want, I could put it down for you. Actually, Mark trains Deontay, if that's who you want to get into, or Joshua Anthony. I don't know which one you want to get into.
I was going to talk about Deontay Wilder. Let me get a drum roll.
That's my man.
As I ask you this question, if Deontay Wilder fought King Kong right now, who would win?
Well, right at this particular second, I have to go with Kong for 2 reasons. And I'm not against Deontay's my man. See, I want to keep it 100 because Deontay, to me, I mean, he's great. He's never lost. He's got like a 98% knockout ratio.
Yes.
But King Kong's the type of guy that's going to keep coming, and he's a southpaw, so I don't know how he's going to handle it because when my heavyweight told me he used to spar with Deontay when they were in the Olympics together back in, I think, 2005 or 2007, he said Deontay would hold and run, but Deontay was still green and young then. Deontay is great. I'm not putting anyone down on get this to Wiz. I'm trying to create drama because Deontay's a champ now. Nobody has beat him, but he did break his hand, so I think this is going to be a little Achilles heel now because when he comes back off the broken hand, I don't know how he's going to react. But King Kong, I know, just goes through everybody. So, you know, if they can make it, make the fight because what they're waiting for, and I'm telling you, is politics. They're waiting for King Kong because he's 36 to get 40, 45. Then just like they do. And I'm just keeping it 100. Like they say in the street, let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
But if they make that fight, you'd have a great fight because you got 2 undefeated champions.
Yes.
I think Ortiz has some kind of job belt, but you'd have nations fighting one another because you got Deontay from the United States, and you got you have King Kong, Luis Ortiz from Cuba. So that fight, you talk about generating some cash.
It'll be crazy.
You see it? Oh, it would be off the chain. Each guy, I mean, they wouldn't give them the $100 million apiece, but they'd get anywhere between 30 and 50 apiece.
Yeah.
And everybody would make money because you know what? You know somebody's getting knocked out. I don't know which one.
Now, listen. So you said that Dontay broke his hand. Did he break his hand fighting that Polish guy?
No, he broke his hand fighting the heavy set guy that always comes in from overweight.
The Mexican dude.
I'm gonna tell you 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, the Mexican dude.
Oh man, that's my
starts
man.
with a C. His last name.
Yeah, he's a little bit crazy. That's my man. I forgot his name too.
Chris Areola.
Yes, that's the big dude, and he used to come in. He's not like orthodox.
He would come in overweight, but he's gotten much better. But he's also he's at that slope, like I tell you, 35, 36. When you start hitting that number, no disrespect to the fighters out there. When you hit that number, it's like a sliding slope. Almost no disrespect to the women. When women are 35, 40, no disrespect, they're not like they was the cat meows 18, 20, 21. They all know it. I love women, but I'm just telling you how it is. Same thing with the fighters. So they have something to come back at us against. Oh, look at the fighters.
You see, now you starting real big troubles because I'll box somebody. But when you mention the ladies, that's a problem.
No, I love the ladies. I'm just saying, you got the Lena Horns, you got Tina Turner's 60, a whole bunch of them. We can go on and on. Aretha Franklin. Yes. But then you got some of them get 35, 40. They look like they're 90. What happened? And I'm not dissing any women. I love women. I love my mother. So I get it, and you get it. But again, back to the boxing. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm just keeping it a buck again.
There you go. Miles Bailey, boxing connoisseur on the DJ Cisco Radio Show. He took it from A to Z, broke it down. Man, I love you, dude. Thank you so much.
And I'm on Facebook if people need to see me. Google me or Google my stuff. Or if they need to get holler at me, 518-253-all-3s. I'll talk to anybody about boxing and break it down about life, but I'm a boxing man. I've been doing this my whole life, and hopefully they can get back at my cousin who used to be a constable out there, but now he's into the Poconos Defense School, and please support him because he has a great karate school and showing people how to defend themselves. Anthony Scott in the Poconos Defense School.
Pocono Defense School, Anthony Scott. Check it out. Google that right now. You heard it first right here on the DJ Cisco Radio Show. We had a legend on tonight, Miles Bailey. Thank you once again. Anytime you want to call the show, man, feel free.
I'll try to get to you at least once a month, if not sooner. Hopefully one day I'll have my show and we can all collaborate, do things, make things happen. But look out for that Ward Kovalev fight, which is coming up in Las Vegas, November 19th this year.
Nice.
I'm out. Peace, love, everybody. God bless.
Peace.
Okay.